And yet, this notion strives to reduce it to the childish equation. To destroy it, so you must rebuild it. But is it really that much simple? Take a Vietnam War. Wars that are cause of one country, wars with the clash of ideologies, internal events, and the global power struggle. If responsibility is shared in causing conflict, then why? Rebuilding is just focuses on only one nation. Consider the Iraq War. Even the interventions, the rebuilding process failed there. Not just because of the external factors, but because of the internal insecurity, social chaos, and the political chaos. And when no foreign power amount is able to succeed that power, which is already internally fractured nation. Now, my very first argument is that this whole idea is morally flawed. It is assumed that the blame is always clear and always known one. But the wars often include the multiple factors, actors, historical grievances, and even the internal conflicts. And to assign the full moral responsibility to just one nation is not a justice. It is just overshadowing this. And my second argument is that we are just increasing our dependency on that rather than strengthening our nation. Let's assume that the nation are believing that someone else will rebuild them, then where is the incentive of reforming internally? And real recovery is often comes within themselves. Look at the aftermath of the Second World War. Like the countries Japan and Germany have built it themselves, not just because they have been morally obligated because of the other countries, but they built themselves with the resilience, vision, and dedication. And my very third argument is that it is impractical and dangerous for us even to imagine that. Resilience is not just about infrastructure, it is about the truth, governance, culture, and identity. An external power which has been already seen as an aggressor. How can we be sure about that when they will help us to rebuilding the nation? Because great conflicts cause great consequences on everybody. And my fourth argument is that what about the intentions? What about the wars which was fought just in self-defense? What about the interventions to stop the terrorism and the largest humanitarian crisis? And what about the nations which have just stepped to prevent the bigger disaster, but now they are just rendering the biggest help? And if the nations are just doing the lifelong obligations, then I think their action they must be hesitate when it is about to action, when it is needed actually. And my fifth argument is that rebuilding should be sharing, not just force. It's not about to punishing, assigning to just only one nation. The rebuilding is not just about rebuilding the country, it is also restoring the humanity there. And in conclusion, I would just like to conclude myself, yes, wars create destruction, yes, rebuilding is necessary,